Well, we're back with another one, chat. Opening night for the Celtics didn't fare so well, so we'll get into that. Welcome to another edition of What the Hell's Happened in Sports. It's your boy, the one and only Nero. I got my Bay State Media guys with me. I got Luke with me, and I got the one and only Mr. Amari Scott. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, good. And for anybody watching on the Bay State end, you already know we're here with WTHHS. And, I'm excited to get into the Celtics game, man. I'm actually happy. I'm happy tonight. I'm not upset.
Facts. Facts. No, I know the Celtics ain't come away with it tonight, but it wasn't like it was a blowout. It wasn't like, they were outmatched or whatnot. It was a back and forth game. Celtics obviously should have been able to have this one, but it just shows you also how talented the 76er squad is. Not only for the first game, for the people out there before we get into it that are panicking, like, oh, the Celtics lost. Man, it's only game one.
Yeah.
There's 81 more games left, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's only one game. And I know some people already talking shit. Oh, Missoula, it's his first loss in his first game of the year. He was 3-0. Like, bro, that shit don't matter. What
Mm-hmm.
matters is what happens at the end of the year, bro. So one loss ain't
Mm-hmm.
going to kill you. You know what I'm saying, guys?
And
So with that being said, guys, we'll get into the stats real quick. We'll get into the stats. I will say, as we do get into the stats, we are going to focus on somebody at first, and not really much of a surprise, but this kid's, he was special in college, he was special in high school, but this kid might be something special to watch already in his first game in the NBA. The Celtics score tonight, it was 117-116 Sixers. They took a 1-point win. We're going to start with the Celtics, obviously, like I always do here. We start with the losing team, and then we go to the winning team. Start with the Celtics since they lost. Two guys led the team in scoring tonight. It was Derek White and Jaylen Brown, each with 25 points. Derek White shot 7 of 20. Jaylen Brown shot 9 of 18. Derek White was 4 for 13 from the three-point line. We'll talk more about that as we go. And Jaylen Brown finished for 50% from the three-point line at 2 for 4. Derek White also added 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a nice block. I believe in the first half, it was clutch. And then Jaylen Brown had 6 rebounds, 4 assists as well. Other guys who contributed: Peyton Pritchard had 16 in his first game starting. Not first game starting, but at least for this new squad, he's going to be a starter this year. So he played pretty well. Could have did some stuff better. Neemias Queta had 17 and 8. Nice game for him. And then Anthony Simons, their big acquisition in the offseason, finished with 13 points. Sam Hauser also chipped in with 8 in a starting role tonight. But for the 76ers, they were led by Tyrese Maxey. I will say Brian Scalabrine was acting like people don't know who Tyrese Maxey is. He was an all-star 2 years ago, Scal. You can't be doing that, bro.
yeah.
Regardless, he had 40 points, shot 13 to 24, 7 to 9 from 3. He had 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And then rookie VJ Edgecombe, their first round pick, 34 points in his NBA debut. Shot 50% from the field, 13 to 26. Also had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Dominic Barlow added 13 points. Kelly Oubre added 10, both as starters. Quentin Grimes added 10 off the bench. Joel Embiid was very much a non-factor. He was playing limited minutes today. He was more on restricted mode. In 20 minutes, he finished with 4 points, 1 of 9 from the field, 0-4 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. So obviously, Joel Embiid did not hurt the Celtics tonight in no capacity. It was the 2 guards. And I tell you, to cap off with that, let's start with Amari. VJ Edgecombe, man. Obviously, him and Cooper Flagg, especially in high school, they were always going at it. Cooper Flagg, and I saw an Instagram video from close to 2 years ago now. Excuse me. They were playing each other. Cooper was talking shit and whatnot. I see why Cooper was talking a little bit of that shit, because this guy is something serious. He was something serious at Baylor, led it to a first round pick. But now, man, this kid opened a lot of eyes tonight. What are your thoughts on VJ Edgecombe tonight?
I mean, I think he took advantage of his matchups. I think that was the biggest thing that he did. And I think they came into this game with a game plan. It was very clear. Embiid wasn't as aggressive as normal, and I think that was the game plan for the Celtics as well. And you put the ball in his hands, and this is what happens, and this is what he's supposed to do. So I think
Absolutely.
Edgecombe, he's not going to win Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flag. I really don't think that that's going to happen.
Right.
But the only way I can see that this happening is if he continues this level of play as a starter, and Cooper Flag might not get some minutes because he's got to sit behind. Sometimes he's going to have to sit behind Lively or Gafford or an
Right. Right.
AD. So I'm hoping that Coop gets the burn, but that's more of a team that is actually, now that they have Coop, a team that is also trying to do the same thing out what this as to what the 76ers are also trying to do, which is 100% make the playoffs. I think both teams are trying to do so, especially a Mavericks team that was, in the play-in, I'm pretty sure last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, they were.
So yeah, so you look at it from that angle, and I think Edgecombe has a chance. I really think he could win it if he continues this level of play throughout the season. And
Right.
I'm hoping he does. I think he's athletic. He got to his spots. He knew what to do. He didn't turn the ball over too much. And when his number was called upon, he answered in the first game. And you just, as someone who's a basketball lover, like you just want to see the young guys succeed. And I hope, this season he continues that level of play to give Coop a little bit of a heart attack when it comes to that Rookie of the Year trophy. That would be a
Absolutely.
very good battle because I feel like that's what we're missing is just young guys and rivalries and Edgecombe and Coop. They got a rivalry like you said yourself. So it's a very very big it's a very very big matchup to look out for going forward. And
Mhm.
I hope that VJ Edgecombe can continue this level of play with Paul George being old and out. So
Absolutely. No, I like his game too. I like how he attacked the basket. I like how he had two vicious dunks during the game. We already
mhm.
knew about the type of dunks but he could bring the type of athleticism
Athleticism.
to show it
Yeah.
in the NBA in his first game, man. That was something serious. But his I can't really count his counterpart, but quite frankly, maybe I don't even know if the word his I would say his sidekick, but he ain't really the sidekick. VJ Edgecombe's the sidekick. His partner in crime is what I
Yep.
want to say. Tyrese Maxey. And I'll go to Luke for this one. And I mentioned it already that kind of Brian Scalabrine early on in the game, he was talking about Embiid, things like that. But when he was talking about him, he was like, oh, you know, uh, these two guys, Maxi and Edgecombe, they're the two young stars of the team, blah, blah, blah. It's really going to be their team as time goes on. Quite frankly, Luke, yeah, Embiid's there, but would you say overall that this team is very much Tyrese Maxey's team, or would you say it's Joel Embiid's team, but Tyrese Maxey is just is more the second fiddle type of guy for this team?
Luke.
Luke,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was watching the Spurs game.
no, you good, you good. You want me to repeat my question type shit?
Yeah, go ahead, go
Lock
All
ahead.
right,
in,
good.
bro. Lock in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. What I was saying, in terms of Tyrese Maxey's performance and how Embiid, only had the 4 points. Um, for Tyrese Maxey, is this very much his team, or is it one of those things that this is Joel Embiid's team, but Tyrese Maxey, is just a second fiddle guy that has to provide what he has to provide when Joel Embiid isn't going.
Yeah, I go with the way you worded it the second time around. It's still Joel Embiid's team to me,
Mhm.
but the way his health is and in games like this, like if you find a way to kind of take him out or limit his impact,
Mhm.
you're always going to Tyrese Maxey second. Like you could kind of just feel it mid game. That's why I'd like to say it's still Joel's team,
Mhm.
but the second it's not going that way, and it feels like your star isn't producing. It's like the same things Celtics do for Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. Okay, Tatum's having a shitty game. Everyone immediately always thinks, okay, Brown's gonna pick up the slack. It's the same deal.
That's fair. That's fair. And I agree with you too. It's you know you look at Embiid, especially the careers that he's had and what he's done for you know this team and the city and kind of bringing the 76ers, you know, I wouldn't say to new heights, but it's taken them places that some people didn't expect, and some people, would say like, you had to trust the process and whatnot. Yeah, they haven't gone into NBA Finals or anything like that, but at least they've, a couple times have gone to the second round of the playoffs. I believe one year they went to. Oh no, actually no. I was gonna say they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they didn't. They lost to Kawhi's Raptors. But at least to kind of take them a little, far in the playoffs and whatnot. He's done some things. Obviously, it wasn't as great of a game by him because of him coming back from knee surgery and whatnot. And it's only game one. You would hope that the outcome as he goes on is he's gonna get back up to speed and whatnot. I will say for him is because of all these injuries, and I'll go to Amari for this one. Because of all these injuries, is this one of these things also with Embiid that if he were to get one more serious injury, would that be it for him? Or would you think that even with another kind of serious injury, he'll try to somehow push his way to continue having an NBA career? Because all those injuries, they're catching up to him, to be honest.
I mean, you got to look at it from a standpoint of, you know, how much can he really handle in terms of like offensive load now due to the fact that VJ Edgecombe is there. I think there's some guys there to take off the pressure. I've always really liked Kelly Oubre. I think his shot IQ is great. I think he spaces the floor really, really well. And I think that that's something that they should take advantage of as well throughout the season if Kelly can stay healthy as well. So Kelly Oubre, I've always liked his game just simply because he does all the right things and he's willing to do the dirty work. He's willing to rebound. And I think that Embiid has, a little bit more depth. I mean, they drafted Johnny Broome as well, from Auburn. Very good basketball player with some great experience, especially in college. So you look at that and you look at the type of play that he played in college. I mean, that's a guy that maybe could step up and make some significant minutes too as well.
Right.
So I think that Embiid, as far as the injury concerns, man, that's going to be what it is. Like, that's always going to be a thing for him. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing that could happen to him. It would end up being, in my personal opinion, I think it would just be what you see tonight. I mean, he's never really been a dominant ball handler, and I think you saw that clearly was the game plan tonight, was get the ball out of his hands. Don't let him go one-on-one. You let him go one-on-one, he's just going to take you all the way to the basket. And I think that he wasn't able to get his bully ball in, and Keita and Garza did a good job today of limiting that. And I think that Embiid, you double team him, and I think you can take him out the game that way. But now that, we saw what we saw tonight, if VJ Edgecombe is as legit as we think, it won't be as easy at all.
I think, and I agree with that 100%. Yeah, no, VJ Edgecombe, to the people who don't know him, he surprised a lot of people. But to the people that know his type of game, you just saw like, okay, yeah, no, this kid is going to be something special. A lot of people are surprised. A lot of other people that know him ain't really that much surprised. He just stepped up, especially in the Garden on that parquet floor, showed how much of an impact he can be in the backcourt with Tyrese Maxey, but how much also of an impact he can really be as he continues on and grows in this league. So good props to him. Great game by VJ Edgecombe. To go on the Celtics side now, I'll start with Luke. How do you feel Neemias Queta fared tonight? Obviously now in his starting role, and even though he fouled out at the end, his presence on the court. How did you feel? How did that fare for him today? Did you like I'm sure you liked what you saw, but in terms of improvements, where do you think he should kind of improve on his game as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think starting off, he exceeded expectations. I had the bar set kind of low for him, and I think for him to exceed expectations, that was a great start. Now going forward, I think he's got to do a little bit more. We saw him run the pick and roll game, and that's completely fine. That's what you want to do to get his confidence up. Now going from limited minutes to a starting role, that's just a confidence builder. Going forward, I'd like to see him not necessarily go away from the pick and roll, but he has to learn to be effective in other areas.
Okay, right.
Such as he has to get down and low in the post. He has to start reading plays more.
That
I
makes
don't think
sense.
the
Not
post is. I don't think that's his game though. Like he's not a
no,
low block back you down type of post player. Like his
but
game really stems from pick and roll actions. You get him on a lot of flare screens. You can get him, put him in these situations where he can be successful. And I think tonight he was just asked to really play a lot of defense tonight. I don't think offensively he was really part of the game plan.
Mhm.
But going forward, like I really think he could be part of the game plan. It's just you saw a lot of potential in EuroLeague, right? Like this year in EuroLeague, he was able to. I mean, he did this. He was step back three and going between the legs, like. And we're
Yeah.
talking about EuroLeague. Like this is
Yeah.
not like scrubs. Like we're talking about guy. Like he's going up against Alperen Şengün. He's going up against Doncic, Jan. Like he's going up against guys he sees all season. And you
Right.
saw Alperen Şengün's play translate from the EuroLeague, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you saw what he was doing. If you guys watched, you saw what he was doing in the EuroLeague. He puts up 40 and 11. Like he's
Right.
taking that leap, and I call him Baby Jokic, bro, because
Mhm.
he's out there and he's doing things. He has the same style of game and very very similar. I think he's actually, in my personal opinion, I think he's more of a skilled ball handler than Jokic is. He's just
Mhm.
not as good of a shooter and an offensive creator. His
Right.
gravity and his offensive gravity isn't there yet. And what I want to see from Kata is I want to see not him handle the ball like Şengün and Jokic, but I want you to be a threat more so to space the floor. I want you to be a threat at least where you're athletic. You're not huge and big and burly like those guys are. You're tall and you're skinny and you're still strong.
Right.
So, I think if he finds a healthy balance, he can get to the mid range, feel himself out in the mid range. If he can do that, he can put the ball, he could give you a couple pound dribble spin moves or spin fakes. Like he needs to add to his offensive repertoire as far as
that's true.
getting shots up. So
Mhm.
I think that,
But
we saw a lot of that in EuroLeague, but it's not translating to the NBA right now, unfortunately. But
but
it's only game one, you know?
I will say he is one of, if not our bigger center,
Mhm.
because we got Boucher and
Well, Boucher is definitely not a center, though.
Garza, but Garza isn't really. He's more of a power forward. He's not really
He's a
right
something
big,
that.
well,
stretch,
Garza's like really the big body. Like,
Yeah. Oh, body wise, you're right. Yeah.
yeah, like body.
but
Like
he
he's
doesn't
more of
have
the
that
big body.
footwork to keep
Kata's
up.
more of like the extreme athlete.
Yeah.
So Kata, he might not be the big burly guy, but he's no pushover either. You can definitely match him up against people like Embiid. Just
Mhm.
throw him a little bit of help, and he will be completely fine. I believe in that.
Right.
But the problems when you have those lengthy big men who get shoved around like Boucher, and you try and send another one to help, and they just outmuscle both of them.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I've seen that happen a couple times with people like Giannis, Jokic, whatever. They think, oh well, we send two skinny guys on them. They just outmuscles both of them. Because in that low post, all you need is a little bump, and you got all the room in the world.
Right.
Absolutely.
When
Absolutely. And
when
he
you
does,
when
and he has the size and strength for that. He really does. No, he's with his athleticism, it's going to do a lot for this team. It showed today, obviously, with him fouling out, especially at the end of the game within the last couple minutes. It hurt the Celtics a little bit size wise to grab boards and whatnot. So if he can just limit the fouls and just keep his hands up when necessary and try not to, reach in or really put an elbow or anything like that, a shoulder, just keep your
Mhm.
hands up, everything will be fine. That's the one thing I would say he has to really learn more as, especially against a team like the Sixers. You'll see matchups that as the season goes on that he'll be able to really take advantage of due to his strength. But a guy, and mind you, Embiid obviously didn't play much, but they had that the young kid.
Mhm.
Yep, got the they had him, and he wasn't as much of a challenge in terms of body wise. He was a challenge being aggressive, trying to grab the boards. That's what also kind of hurt Kata towards the end of the game as he
Yeah.
was trying to grab boards. They were getting, matched up. They were getting tangled, and obviously with these refs, sometimes they're going to go with the guy on the defensive end trying to grab a board to lay the offensive guy, to try. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, that can be improved on, but it's also basketball. So I would just
Mhm.
say being smarter in a sense that like one of the things he'll have to work on. But overall, from what he showed today, he can if he can at least be a consistent contributor to at least grab some boards, and when he's able to in the low post go to the back down and get some buckets, or even some tip-ins or whatnot, he'll be effective for his team. If he can be similar to a Robert Williams, hey, I'm all for it, because you got 4 other guys who can shoot and score. You know what I'm saying? So
I
that's
don't
gonna
think
help.
he's as gifted as a defender. Like,
Yeah. Oh no, facts. Yeah.
yeah, like I think that might be asking for a lot.
Right.
But at the same time, you also that's what you want if we're gonna make the playoffs. Like I think you make a great point with the Robert Williams thing. He needs to have that impact. He
Right.
does. And I feel like it was there tonight for
Right.
sure.
Hmm.
The ability is definitely there too. And I just think that he continues to shine on the defensive end. And I mean, come on, man. He had a great night
He did.
defensively. He had
He
an
did.
amazing night and he kept them beat in check. And that's the type of stuff you want to see from him. So I'm really
Absolutely.
hoping that he can continue this level of play going into some of these games. And I don't know if you're going to get into the schedule. I'll probably let you do that. But
Oh no, for sure. No, I'm gonna get into the schedule in a second. One
awesome.
more guy to focus on, because usually what we would focus on, like the Jaylen Browns, the Derek White, the Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hausers. We already know what we have from them. Our new guy, though, off the bench, even though he was still kind of getting the feel, he did do some good things out there, especially with his speed. His speed kind of played a lot also in certain
Hmm.
transitions. Amari, how do you
Yes.
feel about Anthony Simon's role going forward, coming off the bench, and the impact he can bring? Can he be able to bring that Peyton Pritchard type of impact as the season goes on, or could it be one of those things that his impact ends up being well enough that, hey, we might have to move this guy into the starting lineup?
Yeah, he needs to be in the starting lineup. And I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
Pritchard. Okay, so anybody watching or whatever, if you don't know what an action is, right?
Mhm.
There's this thing called basketball. It's almost like football, where a different look. You give a certain type of look, and it's the
Right.
same look, right? So let's say, for example, the Chiefs. They love to do it with Rasheed Rice and Xavier Worthy. They like to line them up on the same side of the field a lot,
Mhm.
and they like to run crossers, but they also like to line them up along the field where one runs a deep cross, the other runs a shallow cross or a drag. And a
Uh-huh.
lot of what they like to do is get the defense in a position to make a decision. And Peyton Pritchard was getting fucking cooked all night in these actions with Maxey and Edgecombe. And I'll
Uh-huh.
tell you why. So Pritchard's size, you have to attack that, especially when you are a team like Philly, whose all the players are just bigger than Pritchard, right?
Mhm.
They're just all of them. It doesn't matter what action you run with Pritchard, he's going to get eaten alive against those types of players with two athletic guards who can get to anywhere, they can get to their spots, they can get to places on the floor that normally other people can't get to. So when you do that and you run those types of actions and you keep those actions in place, then you just switch up with a different look, kind of like football.
Mhm.
So what they did was they like to run a little, it was like a flare screen action and sometimes a little bit of like a dribble handoff. And they would feed the ball to the post, and Edgecombe and Maxey would run an action
Mhm.
where they would run screens for each other, or they'd be in a position to actually get the ball, and Oubre would come and swing and get the ball. Now the thing was Oubre was open all night. He wasn't really necessarily knocking down shots like crazy, but the
Right.
thing was he's such a threat to score
Mhm.
that you actually have to account for him. So when you come out and get on that closeout after double teaming Embiid, you don't have a choice. So that's why they were running those actions to put Pritchard in a situation where he had to make a choice: stay
Right.
home or switch.
Mhm.
And at that point, I'm noticing tonight, like it's not that he doesn't have the athleticism, he's just not tall. It's messed up, but you can't teach height. So there's
Absolutely.
really
Yeah.
not much you can do. But this is why I think he should come off the bench. Because if you have a guy like Simons who's a little bit bigger,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I think Simons, if I'm not mistaken, he's 6'2" to 6'4". I can't remember his exact height. I think he's
Right.
probably like 6'4". He
Oh,
looks about 6'4".
yeah.
So, I think that that's an interesting thing going forward that they should definitely evaluate, because I don't know if Pritchard's going to be able to go up against ones like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And,
And
and and especially no, and
uh,
like you said, also how excuse me, how Maxey was kind of taking advantage of that, just especially dribbling wise and getting by him. Yeah,
yep.
especially in that situation, it was tough. Not to
And
say
it's
that
not even
Pritchard
that
is
he's
a
not
bad
quick.
defender or anything, but yeah, Maxey's hard
Maxey's
to guard.
just stronger. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna run into the like Steph. Like I feel like Steph Curry would be a horrible matchup for Pritchard, right? Only
Mm.
because, yes, will Pritchard be able to run around the court and keep up with him? Absolutely. But Steph Curry is uberly strong for a point guard. He's just going to take Pritchard off the dribble and get to the basket and get those cutter layups. He's going to use his body, and Pritchard's going to have to foul him. And I feel like you just put him up against second unit point guards, he might thrive more.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and that's what he was doing last year. That's what he was
yep,
doing last year, and really the last couple of years. When you put him in the second unit, when there's guys, especially when the starters are out, or you might
yep,
have one of these talented guys coming off the bench or whatnot, he was eating. He
yep.
was.
And Simons was playing against ones.
Exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Now I'm
That's
back.
So,
Now back to Simons though, because I love this topic. I love this player. I love the topic. I love it all. Coming from Portland, it's crazy how much offensively he's mirrored Dame's game.
mm-hmm. Yes.
And
he's a
I
better
don't think
passer than
I
Dame, in
don't
my
think I
opinion.
don't think it was ever emphasized how important the defensive side of the game is. I think if you work with him on defense,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you're gonna turn him into a defensive monster. That's just not his game. But you can certainly prioritize learning and expanding on his defensive knowledge and defensive IQ. And when you get there, you're only gonna be making him better. Now, as for the Celtics, him along with, I would say, everyone coming off the bench and then maybe even a couple of starters just didn't look comfortable or fully confident tonight. Like Derek White,
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, they all won their ring.
Uh-huh.
They've all been doing this for a while.
Right.
They're comfortable. They're confident. They know what they're doing. The rest of everyone is kind of trying to prove their spot in their rotation. While Simons isn't getting benched, they're coming into a new environment and trying to learn how they all stand.
Right.
So you're taking a guy though with, like I said, he really does mirror Dame's game offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's as good as Prime Dame because that's
It's different. Right. I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yep.
Nah,
but
fact.
but if he can even be a shadow of that
Mm-hmm.
offensively, we will be okay. Now I'm not sure how I feel about him starting or coming off the bench yet.
Uh-huh.
I'd say maybe now, personally, just keep him coming off the bench unless it seems like he's really struggling and would maybe benefit from not only him, but the team would benefit if he started compared to Pritchard.
Right. Right.
But I'm telling you, so many people on this team, Josh Minott, Luke Gargaza,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Simons, they just they didn't look comfortable. They got a couple good buckets and whatnot tonight, but Simons, I wouldn't be shocked if, even if he stays on the bench, if he ends up putting up 20 to 25 points a game because I believe in his game like that.
Oh,
He's got
absolutely.
he's got the tools for it.
He definitely does. He definitely does. And like Amari said also,
He was a damn
he's
near 20-point scorer against ones when he didn't have to play defense. And now you add defense into the mix, it's kind of just like he can create. You can see like defense created a lot for him tonight when he played well on the defensive end. He
right.
created a lot of those looks for himself by making the right play. And I feel like like you said, which is like a good point because a lot of people don't watch the Trailblazers. So, like you said, defense was not a fucking emphasis for him, bro. They literally just wanted him to score points. They didn't have anybody else somewhat of a talent to be able to do that.
Right.
So it's like, all right, you know what? Just go out there and focus on scoring 20, my nigga. Like that right
Yeah.
there alone, like, okay, now he knows, all right, I have a defensive responsibility. This is my responsibility. If I can ace this matchup, I'm gonna get rewarded with the ball. And that's how it is with the Celtics. You gotta come here and play defense first. And obviously we don't have Jason Tatum, a guy
Mhm.
who was switchable on Embiid a lot of the times and switchable on Giannis. So it's tough without him, a guy who is a 1 through 5 defender, and he's not there. And Jaylen Brown right now, I think Jaylen Brown was too fucking tentative tonight, dude.
A little
I
bit.
don't
Yeah.
think he was fucking aggressive enough. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you got Kelly Oubre on you, you got Maxi, you got Edge. Like, these switches, like, bro, I need you to be aggressive. I
Mhm.
need you to step up to the plate and do what you're supposed to do. And you're a Finals MVP, bro. Not to say that he didn't deserve it. I think probably Tatum could have definitely had a case to win that shit. But you look at stuff like that and you just ask yourself, like, can Brown be more fucking aggressive? And like I said, or like we both said, it's game one. We not tripping. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I just hope that he looks back at this film and he 100% understands that you have to be aggressive and you have to be the guy. And the one thing I will say is too, yo, I don't care if you got to scream at Peyton Pritchard in the locker room. No fucking reason he should be getting the ball 2 times at the. That's some Marcus Smart shit.
Yeah.
If you want to know the quickest way to get traded, Pritchard, if you ever see this, do what Marcus Smart did. Keep doing that shit. Because I'm telling you, look what happened to Marcus. He had to sit and watch us from the fucking sidelines win a
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Peyton. Don't do it. We
Hmm.
get you're nice, but please don't start that Marcus Smart shit because it's you will go out the door. We've seen it,
Absolutely.
and I think they learned from that situation from keeping Marcus Smart for too long. And look, and I hate to say it, but look what happened.
Hmm.
We won a championship, and I
Yeah.
get it. He's such an amazing defender. He was a DPOY player, but yo, offensively, great facilitator. Not terrible scorer, but not the best that we wanted. So,
Absolutely.
learn that, please, for the
The
love of
Absolutely.
fucking God.
the thing there was just the horrible shot selection in crunch time.
Right.
Like Smart's tendencies to, turn around, fader three, or contested three. Like he chucked up so many bad
I
shots,
would
and
have rather him do that shit.
Hmm.
That's his
I
game. I would have rather him took a step back three. You
oh
went to the basket with your small ass 2 times, and then you went to the baseline, caught the ball on the baseline with a terrible angle to shoot the ball. You
Yeah.
didn't even you didn't even try and cut to the basket to decoy to make yourself more of a threat so someone else could get open. And also another thing, Joe Mazzulla, why the fuck is the most dangerous guy with the ball, probably other than Brown, inbounding the ball?
Yeah.
Why is Simons inbounding the ball in this situation?
Hmm.
It makes no. I think Missoula, that championship is getting to his head, bro.
Absolutely.
It's getting to his head because some of these decisions were head scratching tonight, and no adjustments either. You didn't make any adjustments. And why did Chris Boucher? Why did he stop playing it? I was confused about that.
I was a little confused too. Now that you
Why did
mentioned
you
it.
stop
Yeah.
playing him? He was attacking the basket. He was rebounding. He got second chance points
Hmm.
like early on in the game. Yeah, out of head, it was more of a coaching thing for me today, and
Yeah.
it wasn't really much on a lot of the scheme. The scheme was perfect defensively.
Yeah.
There's
I would
nothing
have
you
liked
could
to see
do.
Boucher more in there in crunch time too. Because
Uh
especially
huh.
how
Because he has
how his
experience.
game style is, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I tell you. Now, honestly, and even like Amari just said, it's coach. It is a coaching thing. It is a coaching thing, and it is only the first game of the year, so
Yep.
you kind of get a feel. But
Got to take it with a
hopefully, as
grain of
time
salt.
goes on, if it's another situation where Kata is in foul trouble, or even so, if you want to put him and Kata out there, or just have Boucher out there, that's a
mhm.
thing that look into the game film. You got 2 days to prepare for the Knicks. We'll also get into the schedule also, but it's a thing where guys who have won in this league, guys who have experience in this league, should be able to be out there in certain situations and help a team win. Boucher not
Yeah.
being out there, I'm glad Amari mentioned that. Boucher not
Yeah.
being out there. And I'm not gonna necessarily say it cost us the game, but we would have had a better shot to win this game if he was out there. If he was out there
Mm-hmm.
more.
And before we get too big into the scheduling part of things,
Mm.
like Amari had mentioned earlier, that this was definitely one of those matchup games. Like you wonder why they didn't play certain people.
Hmm.
We had a matchup. You had to think of your matchups for someone like Embiid, who if you don't throw certain bigs down, he'll just eat you alive in the paint all game long. So going off of that, I think the coaching thing, yes, we want to see what works and what doesn't, and who's more ready and who's not as ready. But that doesn't mean you necessarily shove 10 to 12 players in a game because if you play Garza for 5 minutes and Boucher for 8, you're not giving enough sample size. Look at your matchups, figure is Garza going to be better tonight or is Boucher going to be better tonight? Or if it's for a different position, different player, whatever, same deal.
Right.
You figure out, here are a couple good games for this player and here are a couple good matchups for player B. And you give them roughly the same playing time, as long as everything's going well. And now sometimes it's not going well and you gotta address that and change your game plan a little bit. But it'll be a better sample size to go off a couple games with said matchups rather than, well, let's play this guy 5 minutes and then we'll sub him out and play this guy 5 minutes. It's just not a good sample size.
Absolutely, yeah. That is true.
So, why I like to see all the new faces on the court, I'd like to see a little more consistency with the way they're being thrown out there, because 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there is not going to cut it or get anyone's confidence up.
Right.
Absolutely. You have to have more. You have to have more of a flow on the court. Plus, also, while guys are out there, they gotta actually be able to be comfortable on the court. Instead of throwing them out there, like Luke said, throwing them out there for a few minutes and then taking them out. It's like, what's the point of even fucking putting them in? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no point. If you're just gonna throw a guy out there, yeah, I get you want to see what he can do, but you got to give him some minutes. If you're just gonna put him out there for a couple minutes, he ain't gonna do shit.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys aren't Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? They can't just get hot immediately. They can't just, they got to actually be able to actually be in the game and get comfortable. And they got to get their legs warm. They got to get their feet wet. You know what I'm saying? So no, like Luke said, you got to, see what's up with the lineups and whatnot. But all in all, as time goes, I don't think we're going to see, 11, 12 guys play, like that. You'll probably end up seeing like more 8 or 9. Some guys are going to get their minutes cut, or some guys are going to get in and other guys won't get in certain games. It is matchup based. I know Joe, how much Joe Mazzulla is also kind of like Brad Stevens. He's going to go with the matchups, who he feels best. You're going to see that throughout the whole year. You're not going to see consistent, 8, 9 guys play. For the most part, you'll probably see a consistent 7 guys really in these games, and you're going to have 3 or 4 guys who will be in at times, will not be. Will be in at times, will not be. It's just how it is. That's how Mazzulla works and whatnot. But other than that, again, tough loss by the Celtics, 117-116 to the Sixers. Again, Maxey with 40, Edgecombe with 34. Real quick for the chat, shout out to Mouthpiece. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. And also, we got Ant. We finally got Ant back in this bitch. And Ant was commenting in the chat. First thing before I go to Ant real quick, he said this is a pretty good game. Some positives and negatives for both the Celtics and Philly. That's a fact. Very close game, unlike the Nets and the Hornets game. Unfortunately, yeah. I'll look at the Celtics schedule and we'll see what happened around the NBA too. Some pretty tough games, I'll tell you that. And he also mentioned 9 Hornets players in double digits. Yeah, we are cooked. Oh well. Yeah, and those Nets, man. I tell you, I know Amari's been telling you. Those Nets got a long way to go. Tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that. I'll tell you that. Real quick, for the schedule for the Celtics, obviously you can see chat. You do see the 117-116 loss right over here where the cursor's at. That was today. They take on the Knicks at New York on Friday. They're on a 3-game away trip. So Knicks on Friday, Detroit on Saturday afternoon, and the New Orleans Pelicans on Monday night. So a little bit, and it's a back-to-back too. So a little bit right there of, we'll see what happens Monday. You may have a guy or 2 rest and whatnot, depending on guys, with injuries or a load management and whatnot. But it's going to be, not going to call it a true tough 3-game stretch, but it's going to be a challenging one. And then you got the Cavaliers back home next Wednesday night at 7:00, and then going to Philly Friday night as well. So we do see Philly 2 times with in the next 2 weeks. So let's see what happens with that, chat. I will say though, Amari, kind of looking at the schedule also, and how the Knicks did tonight. I'll share it to this screen real quick to kind of just show how the Knicks fared tonight. The Knicks ended up taking a opening night dub over the Cavaliers, 119-111. Overall, for this Celtics team and this Knicks team, Amari, what do you think is going to be the difference going into this game Friday night and how they could try to get a win against this strong Knicks squad in New York?
Oh, we're not winning this game.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping a stack.
Yeah.
If we didn't beat Philly, yeah, this is. I mean, I'm sorry. Who the fuck is guarding Jalen Brunson? First of all,
Yeah.
Derek White. I mean, then all they're gonna do is switch, and then I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about Pritchard being a starter. Like that shit kind of it just bothers me, man. Like
Yeah.
I just don't think that that's a good tone to set early. And you know, I think with Jalen Brunson and Bridges and Anunoby and all the discrepancy in size matchups, bro, they can throw like 4 different fucking dudes at Jalen Brown, bro. Like it's ridiculous. So you know, I think with the versatility, the defensive versatility of the Knicks and the Pistons, even though the Pistons didn't really have a great showing tonight, I think that, you know, this is a Piston team I have second in the East this year, bro. I think that the potential is there. And, you know, it's just sad to see that the schedule is like this to begin the year. But I will say, yeah, I mean, I can see, you know, Pistons is probably a loss, bro. You know, New York's probably a loss. And what was the third team you said?
It is the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, that's also probably a loss. I can't even lie. That team, if you look at the Trey Murphy, Herb Jones,
Zion.
Jordan. Don't forget Jordan Poole is on that
Jordan
team.
Poole Jordan Poole's on the team too. Yeah.
Healthy
They had a
Zion,
decent game
Eves
against Memphis.
Meaty. You know, like against a Memphis team that can match them size for size. You know what I mean? Pause. So
Right. No, honestly, it is a tricky stretch. It is, and especially obviously without Tatum, you know, to help the cause and add more points and more stability with this team. This is somewhat of this is not necessarily a new look Celtics team, but you know, quite frankly, there's a lot of guys on this team this year that weren't on here last year, especially coming off the bench.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a tough stretch for the most part. Hopefully, they can show some promise against the Knicks but especially the Knicks and the Pistons as Eastern Conference foes and whatnot. But this is how life is without Jason Tatum, y'all. You know, this is what to expect. So yeah, they're 0-1, tough loss tonight. You know, if they were, hopefully they can get a win and these next couple games. Hopefully they can find it. But you know, the Celtics could very well end up starting 0-3. You know, and people might, you know, like, oh, they should. Well, you know, hey, this is how life is. You know, this is it can be tough. Real quick to go around the some more games around the NBA. There are some games still going, but some of the finals I'll just read it off and then I'll go to Ant for this game real quick. So obviously, if you looked in the chat and what I shared, the Charlotte Hornets did defeat the Brooklyn Nets 136-117 tonight. Well, I'll talk to Ant more about that one in a second. The Orlando Magic ended up beating the Miami Heat 125-121. Toronto Raptors 138-118 win over the Atlanta Hawks. The Detroit Pistons, not the Detroit Pistons, the Chicago Bulls actually with a 115-111 win over the Pistons. Memphis Grizzlies 128-122 win over the New Orleans Pelicans, and then the Milwaukee Bucks with a 133-120 win over the Washington Wizards. To kind of go in real quick on the last topic of the night since Ant's in here. And in terms of what you saw tonight from the Nets, and I know it was tough, kind of just talk to how do you feel? How do you feel? I know you kind of mentioned a little bit of the chat. What do you think, man? What do you think about this Nets team so far and what you saw?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm not really hurt per se. Like, you know, it's game one. And we're projected to suck anyway. So I mean, not a lot of people were expecting us to win this game against the Hornets. So no, it's a little tough loss. Didn't look very pretty. I mean, Brandon Miller did a lot of damage. LaMelo Ball had a 20 piece. And 9 Hornets players, as I mentioned earlier, 9 Hornets players were in double digits. So, and 10 Hornets players played.
Right.
So basically, almost everyone had double digits. So, not the not the greatest game for us. And almost allowing 140 to the Hornets, not great. Um, but I guess for us offensively, Claxton looked decent. There were some moments where he like this one moment where he had back to backhand ones, and that was pretty cool. That was neat. Whatever.
Yes, sir.
Um, and from the stats I'm looking at right now, we had 1, 2, 3, 6 players in double digits. It's just we didn't have anyone score more than 17. Claxton had 17. Cam Thomas had 15. Dayron Sharp 14. Yagor Dioman with 14. Man with 13. MPJ with 12. I mean, it's just kind of yeah, I mean, it's just kind of it's a rough game, you know. A loss to begin the season, we're all in one. So, um, and we also got to go against the Cavaliers, I believe, on Friday. So it's gonna be a little ugly. It's gonna be a little ugly, but
A little bit, a little
I
bit.
mean,
Well, I don't know. Them niggas lost tonight, so you might surprise some niggas.
Right.
And then
yeah,
again,
but
like I
like
Put up a
always
there,
fight.
said,
there
the
there's a difference
Cavs are
between losing to the
fraudulent. I
Knicks.
said it for 2 years straight. Frauds.
There's
Hey.
a difference between losing to the Knicks and then losing to the Hornets.
You know.
Yeah.
Hey. Don't do my boys like that.
Eh, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
MPJ might come out there and be like, "Hey, Donovan Mitchell, hem 3-pointer in your mouth." You know what I mean? You might score 50. I'm trying to keep your hopes up. See, I was trying to be nice. Now
I
Yeah.
mean,
you want me to come out and be like, "Yo, y'all
thank
niggas
you.
suck. You getting blown out. 50-point loss. Donovan Mitchell's gonna score 70." That's how I really
I
feel about
mean,
it. I was trying to be nice. You know what I'm saying?
thank you for your generosity.
I like that you kept it real though. I fuck with
Yeah,
that.
There you go. No, facts. I mean, hey, he ain't, it's sometimes it's a tough watch, but at least, especially when you're a fan of a certain team, like Ant is in the Nets and how much basketball he's watched for them. And as the years have gone on, sometimes you kind of just see things for what it is. And right now with the Nets, they're a young team. They also, like this past draft, kind of surprised a lot of us and some of the guys that they drafted and whatnot. And it's tough also for certain free agents to try to go over there because they kind of see the culture that is being built and whatnot, or kind of see the environment and shit like that. So you kind of have to make do. You have to make up with make do of what you have and whatnot. So for them, it's kind of similar to how Joel Embiid was saying, it's trust the process and whatnot. Yeah, with in this situation, you kind of just got to let it play out. But at the same time, kind of the showing that they had tonight, and kind of even looking into the game, especially when I looked at some of the highlights on Twitter. Yeah, kind of you look at that Nets team and it's like, yeah, it's going to be another long season for them. Tell you that.
Yeah.
They'll give you some wins though. They're going to win some games. They ain't going to win a lot of games. I'll tell you that. And if they do end up winning a good amount of games, surprising us, all right, cool, fine. But do I see them really doing anything? Yeah, probably not. I'm saying it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be like a year or two, if anything, until they do something more. Somebody got to go in there, especially like a high draft pick or something, when the time comes and they, step up and kind of lead the team. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, that's we'll talk more about them as time goes on. We'll talk more obviously about the Celtics when the time goes on. I will say though, before we get out of here, real quick, Cooper Flag, for his before I do that, I'll just go down since there's games going on real quick,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of show everybody. right now the Utah Jazz are surprisingly
They
the
won.
Utah Jazz are beating the LA Clippers
The
129
game's over.
106.
They won.
Oh, they won. The game's over. Oh, well,
Yeah,
there
they
you go.
won.
A little
Yeah.
bit of an upset
129
in
to
upset in
108.
opening night. Wow. Yeah, I ain't see that coming. No bullshit.
No,
129
I didn't.
106. Tell you, that's impressive. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Jazz. Shout out to the Jazz. The Spurs are beating the Dallas Mavericks 77-60. Cooper Flag, real quick, I'll check up on him because I do have I'm facing him in fantasy. Sure enough, he does have 2 points and 9 rebounds, getting close to the fourth quarter. So hey, he ain't having no VJ Edgecombe night so far.
Well, then again, I can't lie. He's going up against a team that fully healthy definitely would have made the playoffs last year. But Wembanyama got shut down. De'Aaron Fox got shut down. You know, so De'Aaron Fox is still not playing. Jeremy Sochan is still not playing. Right? Jeremy Sochan is still on the team, right? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
he's still on the team. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sochan, yeah, he's not playing. And I think that, it is odd, that the Mavericks aren't playing particularly well against the Spurs, but I think this is a matchup that we might see early on in the playoffs.
Right.
Could be very well be a first round matchup. So
there you go. No,
I guess we'll
facts.
see where that takes us, because I know Coop is going up against a very solid defensive team right now. So I'm taking it a little bit with a grain of salt. I like the 9 rebounds, impact the game in other ways.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact. Yeah, no, and also, with him, a lot of these guys, it's and not to say it's going to take time, but also some guys, like not everything is based off one game. Some guys are still trying to get in the feel of it. Cooper Flag also going up against the Spurs team that has some height to him, that does have Wembanyama. If you were expecting to see, a 20-10 game or whatnot, hey, like that could it have happened? Yeah, but at the same time, you got to think realistically. Also, this is a guy playing point guard, trying to set the team up. He's not freely running. He's not, he's actually trying to orchestrate what goes on, so you got to give that, you got to take that also and see what it is. But overall, it's only one game. Cooper Flag, he's going to, for how he looks and whatnot, he should have a pretty good NBA career. You just see it with VJ Edgecombe tonight. If you were tuning in to the Celtics and the 76ers game, what a guy like VJ Edgecombe can bring when you have a guy like Tyrese Maxey playing with you. You know what I'm saying? What that could do. You know what I'm saying? So also 2 other games. The Sacramento Kings are currently beating the Phoenix Suns 73-57. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are up in the third quarter. Excuse me, not the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Portland Trailblazers, are up in the third quarter 63-60. Excuse me. Damn, couldn't talk. In Portland right now. It's a home game for the Trailblazers. But that Sacramento Kings team so far looking nice against the Suns. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Hell yeah. Other than that,
Westbrook played.
Actually, you know what? Let me see. Let me see what I see because I can go into the stats right now. Let's see. Check out what Russell Westbrook real quick. Russell Westbrook. Oh, that's the wrong game. I'm bugging.
He's on the Kings, yeah.
My bad. I didn't even realize I was looking at the 76ers. I mean, not 76ers, the Trailblazers. Russell Westbrook has played 13 minutes. He has 9 points. He's shooting 1 of 6. 9 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. So
come on, Russ. That's what I like to see, man. Good job.
And
man.
a block.
Yes, let's go. That's what I like to hear.
Westbrook doing Russell Westbrook things. Hell yeah. Chad. Hell yeah. Other than that, Chad, this is about it for us for tonight. There's obviously going to be more basketball content. There is Thursday night football tomorrow. Yep. So me as
we'll probably do a little bit of a mix tomorrow.
Say that. No, that's
like fair. I'll let you take whatever if you're doing football, I'll let you do whatever, however we want to work that out.
Say that. No, that's what we'll figure it out. But other than that, it's going to be another good weekend. The World Series is starting, chat. So we'll take a look into some baseball also. Sadly, as you know, the Bostonians know the Red Sox, hey, they haven't been in it for they got ousted. The Red Sox haven't played a game in a few weeks. So I think we already know that. But the Yankees, they're out of there. And now it's the Blue Jays' turn to try to do something special against these Dodgers. Let's see if they can do that. We'll touch up on that. BC football, for those who have tuned in, their ass. Sadly, their ass this year.
Yeah.
Very, it's tough to talk about. We'll probably get more into that. I know I have kind of shied away from them because of I shouldn't have, but it just pisses me off sometimes watching these games, so I don't even bother. But we'll get more into that. And then obviously the Pats on Sunday. We'll talk more. Get a game preview against the Browns. We'll talk about the Browns as well. Coming either Sunday or Monday to recap the game. But yeah, other than that, chat, that's about it from us tonight. No bullshit. Quick recap. Touch upon more what went around in the NBA. But yeah, guys, that's about it. No bullshit. Any final thoughts from these first night of basketball, bro?
Nah, I mean, Celtics, tough schedule, tough road ahead. This team should continue to 100% expound on, Kata's game and a couple other people that should probably step up. So, I'm hoping that the Celtics will figure some stuff out and stop fucking shooting threes 24/7. That would be awesome, Joe Mazzulla. If you're fucking watching this ever watch this, bro, please chill. Like
Facts.
it's getting fucking annoying. Like
absolutely. No, they should.
And I got two things, I guess. One, VJ Edgecombe stepping in the spot that Joel Embiid probably should have been in with that 34 points. I mean, for a rookie, hence, he's going against a kind of banged up Celtics team. But, either way, for a rookie, that's kind of what like you love to see, I guess, if you're a Philly fan, 34 points for the rookie you drafted. It's pretty nice right there. And
Absolutely.
and also, I guess I will also learn how to pronounce Yegor Dioman's name because I thought it was like Igor Demon's name.
yeah, American shit.
But
I get it.
Yeah.
But he's Russian, so his last name's pronounced like Dioman. So interesting tidbit right there. But that's all I really got.
Yeah, I was calling that man Igor the Hunchback. You feel me?
Facts. Facts. Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the nigga ain't even from Notre Dame. What a guy.
Yeah, type shit.
Type shit. But yeah, chat. With that being said, that's about it for tonight from us. But again, more things coming as the week goes on, and as we look into it for the future also. So
we got some crazy
boys.
content and announcements for you guys. I can't spoil it to the public, like literally because I signed an NDA. So just want to let you guys know that. But I signed a couple NDAs. But there's some crazy footage, information that's coming out. About it'll probably be around next week. I gotta have a little bit of a conference call on Sunday at 6:00 about this stuff. So stay tuned. I haven't said too much, I guess, at this point.
Right.
Because I got to say what I got to say at the before I signed some paperwork. So then when I signed the paperwork, now it's a little bit I can't really say too much now to the public yet because of that. So but that's how you guys know Bay State Media is getting real serious. WTHHS is getting real serious, guys. We have crazy content and crazy announcements to sit here and tell you guys soon, very soon. Once I get the need to know when it comes to that and I get the permission to do so, I'll definitely give that announcement. I got one announcement. So I don't know if you guys remember before you get out of here. I don't know if you remember what I was talking about. There's a guy who does NBA camps with NBA players and all this other stuff. He does like private workouts, private runs on the side and all that. I actually just got confirmed for that, and that's going to happen for Bay State. Hopefully we can get WTHHS involved in that too. But we are going to travel to some camps that NBA players host for kids. We're going to interview the players, obviously, but it's about more so about the kids than it is obviously the NBA players itself. But we're going to go cover that as Bay State Media, and then hopefully we get WTHHS there too. We are going to be able to travel for this. This is going to be awesome. It's an awesome opportunity. So that is one thing I can say that didn't require NDA, and I get to be a coach at some of these. So if they don't have us, if they don't have us in media, I will at least be going to be a coach at these camps. We're going to start off obviously in Boston, Jason Tatum camp, Jaylen Brown camp, all that stuff, Peyton Pritchard camp, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for that. We take it off.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, and NERO's merch will be coming out soon, guys. We gotta get him a sweatshirt this upcoming weekend. I might be back in Massachusetts. I'm not sure yet. I gotta see what's up with that with my manager. But
say that.
yep.
Hell
We
yeah.
gotta get him the sweatshirt, his merch. It'll be on our app. WTHHS will be featured in the Bay State Media app. It's one stop shop for both since we work together so much, pretty much every single day, and we are partners at this point. So, 1,000%, guys, be on the lookout for WTHHS blog. He's gonna write his own blog. He's gonna do his own thing every week. He's gonna have merchandise you guys can buy. So we can get some what the hell is happening in sports sweatpants. I gotta see what's up with that.
Oh yeah, no, we'll see what's up with that. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. But yeah, chat. Nah, excuse me. Let's can't even talk. Might as well end it off here. We're an hour in. Appreciate everybody who tuned in on
Yes,
both
sir.
my channel, both Bay State Media's channel. Hell yeah, appreciate the support as always. Like our videos up, subscribe. You already know what to do. That being said, chat, this has been another edition of What the Hell is Happening in Sports. It's your boy, you already know, with your boy NERO. I was with my guys and the one and only Amari Scott.
Yes,
Bay
sir.
State Media boys. Hell yeah. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You'll catch us very soon, i.e., probably in less than 24 hours. So
Yeah, pretty
you
pretty
already
much.
know.
Yeah.
There you go. Here you already know. But yeah, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace. And I love y'all.
Absolutely love you too.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Good night, Jet.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night, chat.